Hello everyone. So today we will talk about that GraphQL. So I hope like you guys are have some ideas about the GraphQL. If you don't have, don't worry. I will explain the things from the basic things so that you guys can get idea that what is GraphQL and how we are going to use this GraphQL in a Spring Boot application. So nowadays, basically, whenever we are going to develop any Spring Boot application, then we are developing some APIs, right? And those are the basically REST APIs. So now, if we are talking about the GraphQL, so this is also like we can develop some APIs with this GraphQL, but there is some difference between this GraphQL and the like REST APIs. So GraphQL is like query language for APIs and server-side runtime for execution queries using a type, okay, using a type system that we define our data. So GraphQL basically exposes a single endpoint for querying, updating, creating, and deleting data. It allow also client to request and retrieve the specific data based on their need. Okay, means like GraphQL basically is supposed to there is not a multiple kind of API as we are doing developing multiple APIs in a REST APIs, but here in GraphQL we don't need to create those multiple APIs. Okay, so GraphQL, like in a REST APIs, basically you're having those get mapping, post mapping, put mapping. Instead of that, GraphQL support in a REST APIs basically, whenever we are going to develop any REST APIs, then REST APIs basically for creating an API, we do have like get mapping, then post, put, and delete, right? Those are the mapping that we are basically used nowadays with Spring Boot REST APIs. But in case of the GraphQL, actually, it's also uses the HTTP transfer protocol, but it's having different types of like operation type, three operation types actually. One is the queries, then is the mutations, another one is the subscription. So queries means whenever you are going to request some specific data and it needs using some data schema, means if we are want to fetch data from multiple data source or even other APIs, okay, so we just need to in the same time we need to create those queries, okay, for fetching data. Now if we suppose want to like creating or updating the existing records or objects, then we are going to use the mutations. And subscription basically it's a bidirectional like real-time communication between client and the server. The client can subscribe to events and get updated as soon as possible. Okay, so these are the things that basically GraphQL is basically having. Okay, now if we talked about the difference between this REST versus GraphQL, as I mentioned, the REST basically, now let's say one example we will understand with explaining the one example. Let's say we are having the product API, and here basically we are giving some response, like it will basically return as the product and then ID. So it will basically return all the product with this ID, right? So it will give us all the responses over here. Now like if we need some all product list, so then in case of the REST we need to create another API basically which will return us the product list of all the product. Okay, or maybe if we want to like add something over here in the existing the product details, so here maybe we are also like returning some other details like this product related to which other some nested API, maybe nested details we required under these services. Okay, so we can add some nested responses over here. Okay, here, but the issue is that maybe that particular REST API is consumed by some 4 or 5 clients. So and suppose let's like instead of 4 clients, 2 clients need those data and 2 clients doesn't need, but still whoever not needs those data, but still they will get those records, right? Because it is coming in this particular API, so they can't ignore it, means they will get all the responses and then from there whatever the field is record they can get those record. Okay, so this is the thing that basically means if it is used or not means without anything they actually basically uh, like return the data, means extra data will populated. Okay, so we can maybe like means break this API into two, like means multiple whenever required, so it will also like increase the overrated. Like for each requirement we need to, like we are breaking our APIs into multiple APIs, right? We need to maintain a lot of things. So to overcome this, basically GraphQL is having the things that we don't need to write multiple queries basically. So whatever the fields we need, so we just need to pass those fields in a request. So based on that, from the response we'll get those fields only. Okay, I will give you the example. Whenever I'm going to create any means I will going to this Spring Boot application, and over there basically I will what I will do, I will create those application, and over there I will like demonstrate that how it is different with this REST. Okay, so this is the things basically that using the GraphQL we don't need to write multiple APIs. Only we just need to write those things, and based on that the need, it will basically whatever the field basically will get in a request, only those fields will be returned in the response. Okay, so this is the all about this GraphQL actually. Okay, even like there are some benefits of this GraphQL, like here basically as I mentioned that this is a single endpoint, flexible of data retrieval. Okay, strongly typed schema basically. So these are the things basically. Even like there is some similarities between GraphQL and the REST. So those things like common architectural principles. Then as a HTTP, like this is transport layer. So these are the things basically. Okay, so this is the things about that GraphQL. So next what I will do, we will create one Spring Boot application, and then we will integrate this GraphQL into the application, and over there like we will what we will do, we will demonstrate that how this GraphQL basically worked. Okay, so without further ado, let's create one Spring Boot application and implement GraphQL over there. So here I have created one Spring Boot project. So this is basically that GraphQL demo. So this is the like few that initially that is the like Spring Boot application name. This is the port. Okay, so that I have created over here, and then I have imported in a Eclipse editor. Okay, over here you can see the like dependencies. These are the like dependencies that basically used. Java 17 we are using, and as a version 3.3.0. Okay, and then like Spring Boot data GPA, as we are going to use this data GPA starter GraphQL, that's basically dependencies that we need to use for enabling or maybe using the GraphQL into our Spring Boot application. So this is the basically starter, that GraphQL starter, that is the important dependencies that basically we need to use into our POM file. Then starter web for creating the controller and all. As a database we are going to use a MySQL connector, MySQL. So basically we need to use this MySQL one over here. Okay, and next these are the like Lombok, then starter test, these are the things that is required. Okay, so next what we will do, we'll first of all like we will put some property details over here, so that we can connect with the like MySQL from over here. So for that we need to provide some basic uh, properties over here, like driver class name, as we are going to use this MySQL. So the driver name will be MySQL cj.jdbc driver, then data source URL, then username and password. Okay, and then we need to provide some like dialect over here, that uh, over here like we need to put this dialect and source equal true, and the DDL auto update is true. Okay, and for enabling the GraphQL basically we need to use one properties, so that is also very important, like this one. Okay, spring.graphql.graphql.enable equals to true. Okay, so these are the like few that mandatory properties that we need to set over here. So next what we will do, we will first of all like we are going to create the entity which will basically uh, map to the database. So over here we can create one entity package or maybe model. Okay, so here basically we are going to create one a class over here, let's say product. Okay, and this product basically we are having some fields over here, like first of all we need to uh, annotate this class as entity, and then all argument constructor data, these are the things. So field wise basically we need to defining these are the fields, that's like this one. Okay, So ID, name, category, price and stock. Okay, so these are the fields that we need to create. Okay, so this is done now in creation of entity. Next, what we will do, we need to create the like repository for this one. So for this repository we need to like create one product repository. Okay, and we need to like let me create over here interface. Okay, product repository. Okay, and it will be extend a JPA repository. These are the like basic thing that we need to configure over here, and obviously we need to pass this product and the key value is the integer. Okay, so next we need to create one service. So that service basically will responsible to perform all the operations, like if we want to fetch data from the database, if we want to update something, so those kind of things we need to perform over here in the service layer. So let me create one service layer over here, service class like product service. Okay, and this service basically we need to annotate this class with service annotation. Okay, and next we need to automate this product repository that we have created now. So that actually basically we need to annotate so that we can fetch some data over here. Okay, spell mistake. Okay, so now we need to create one method which will basically fetch all the product from the database. So for that basically we are having this repository dot find all. Okay, so it will basically fetch all the records. Okay, now if we want to fetch based on some like category or something, so that also we can create over here, like get products by maybe category or maybe name, like by name, let's say name. Okay, here we can pass the name, and we need to create one method in a repository so that we can fetch those record by name. Okay, and this product basically entity is have this name one, so based on the name we can search. Okay, so let us create this one, create this method in a product repository. Okay, so find by name, this is fine, it will be fetch data based on the name. Okay, so this is the thing. So next basically what we will do, we will create the main controller basically. Okay, so let me create this controller class over here, or maybe we can create one package like dot controller. Okay, and over here we can create one class like a new class, it's like product controller. Okay, and in the product controller basically we are going to create like we need to annotate this particular, in case of the REST APIs we are annotating this particular class with REST controller, but here we need to annotate this class as we are using the GraphQL, so we need to annotate this particular class with GraphQL. So here we need to use the service layer of the product. So let me use this one, product service. Okay, so next basically we need to call that get all product, right? So let me create one method over here. So as I mentioned earlier in my like demonstration that for fetching the data in case of the REST APIs basically we are going to use the @get mapping, but here so fetching kind of things we are using the query. Okay, this is the annotation, that query you can see that is also coming from this JPA repository, but this is basically query, this is basically used to query mapping. Actually you can see this is coming from this GraphQL data method annotation. So this query mapping basically we need to use over here, so just to get the data from this thing. Okay, means if we want to fetch anything then we need to use this query mapping. So this query mapping is coming from this GraphQL. So next we can create another method like get product by names actually, right? So that method also we can create over here, get product by name, and here we will take the parameter like name, right? So for taking the argument there is one annotation that is actually used by this GraphQL, that is called the argument. Okay, and here basically we need to pass this name. Okay, so it will be again a query mapping. Okay, because we are like uh, what we are doing over here, we are fetching some records from the database, right? So now here basically we need to call the service dot get products by name. Okay, get products by name, and we need to return from over here because it will be return list of products. So this is the things that we need to perform. Next, an important part is that we need to defining the schema, that what type of it is. So for that we need to create one folder over here like this GraphQL. Okay, and here we need to create one GraphQL schemas. Okay, new we need to create our file over here like schema dot, that the like uh, extension will be GraphQLs. Okay, so here basically we need to defining the like all the things over here. Okay, so what kind of things, like what kind of products, like type. Okay, so type of it is like here we need to defining the product, like here something like that, type, then product. Here basically it will be the entity. Okay, then id, and this is the id, right? Then we are defining the name, so name will be a string. Then category, it again a string. Okay, next price, it's a like double. Then next stock, it's a int. Okay, so this, that type of this product we need to define over here. Next we need to give the details about the queries. So what are the basically queries basically we are going to use over here, like one is a get product and another one is a get product by name, right? So we need to, for that basically we need to defining the type, then query. Okay, and here first of all the first method was get products, and what it will return, it will return list of product, right? So that's why this array within this array, this is defining the like what you can say, it's defining the like that return type will be a array. Okay, next we need to define this get products by name. Okay, and again it will take one parameter like name. Okay, and the type will be string. Okay, and return type wise, it again it will return a list of product. Okay, so these are the things that we need to define over here. Okay, if we are having some kind of update operations, then in this scenario we are going to mention the mutation, so that I will means I will come in the later part. Okay, so this is the like thing. Next we will going to start this application and we will see that how it is working. Okay, and before that also what we need, we are defining this db1, this is the MySQL database. So as we are working with this product, so I have already created this schema, and you can see we have also you can see that db1 is created and product table is over here. We have inserted some dummy product over here so that we can give some demonstration for this one. Okay, like this category, this is the name, this is the price, this is the stock. Okay, so this is the thing. Now we're going to start this application and see like how it is working. From here we can start the application. So if we start this one, so then we can check from the Postman that it is working fine or not. Okay, it will not take much time basically. Tom pad initialize on HTTP port. Okay, this is a default port. Okay, schema problem, the double is not present with this real product. Okay, actually in GraphQL basically double is not supported, so this is the basically float. Okay, so that float we need to define over here. Similar we need to also define over here, that is the float. Okay, now I think it is fine. Now we can start this application. Let it be start. It will take little time for the first time. Initialization is done now. Next it's resources. Okay, it's now done. It's started, but somehow it's skip this one. So okay, we need to like map the path over here. Okay, so how we are going to defining the path, like GraphQL path, basically we have created this schema under this GraphQL folder, so that's why you need to provide the path over here, right? So here, so now let me stop this application. So it will take this schema from over here. Okay, so now let me restart this application again. Start completed. So once it will loaded, it will default actually load the schemas from this file. Okay, so now it should, let us see. From the Postman basically we can check. So in our case, like localhost 8080, then GraphQL, this is the path. And if we see the queries over here, then it will give us the result over here like this. Let us see. Okay, so you can see the details are come over here. Okay, let me clean this one. Okay, now for example, if we need this get product, okay, so it will basically return us the result from the database. We can see the results in a body basically. Okay, you can see the all the details in come over here, right? Now here you can see it's written as the ID, name, category, price, and the stock. Now if we don't need the name and category in the response, so in the response basically we need want ID, price, and the stock. So now if we did the query again, so it will return only those fields, ID, price, and stock, right? So we are getting only the same, even though we are having the another things over here, get product by name. Okay, so we need to defining some name. For example, let's say P-1. Okay, so now if we did the query again, then we will get the result. You can see, okay, it's a sub selection required product of field product by name. Okay, we need some return type because we are not expecting anything from over here. So now if we did this one, so we are just giving the one queries over here, and it will give us the get products as well as get product by name. This is the matching, so that's why it's giving us the this return the this product. Okay, so in this way basically this get actually work. You can see like we are not hitting those services multiple time as we did for the rest. Suppose this is the for the rest, this is the one API and this is the one API, so we need to hit those trigger those APIs multiple time if we need the details for the both APIs. But here we are only single time we are querying this one and we are getting the results over here. Okay, so this is the beauty of this, like this GraphQL. Okay, so next actually basically if we want to update some records, okay, so how we are going to, even also you can see these sequels are basically got executed in the background. Okay, now if we want to perform any update actually, so then how we are going to achieve this one? So for that basically we need to write another mutation mapping, as I mentioned earlier also, that in case of the updation we need the mutation. Okay, mutation mapping. And also if we want to, like, let's say like we need to update the name based on the ID, so then we need to defining something over here like mutation mapping. Okay, and then like public product, okay, update price. Okay, so we need two types of argument over here. One is the ID, another one is the like price, updated price, correct? So this ID and then argument float price. Okay, next basically price. Okay, so over here we need to create one method in the service layer basically, which will basically update the like price. Okay, so let me create one method over here in the service layer, right? Update price, it will take int id comma float price. Okay, so now over here first of all we need to get the existing product based on the ID. If it is not there, we will say that product details will not found. Okay, else if the product details is available, then we can update the like existing price like dot set price, and this is the price. Okay, and then we need to return this existing product so that we can update the details. Okay, one more thing we need to done over here, and also we need to call this update price from this controller basically like service return service dot update price this. Okay, so next basically we need to, what do we need to do next we need to defining the schemas over here for the mutation. Okay, like as we did for this one. So type mutation, type here type mutation. Okay, so here basically we are going to update price, that we need to mention. We need to defining the like ID, okay, comma price, it will be a float. Okay, and return time will be like product. Okay, so how we are defining the return type in this way. Okay, so now let us restart this application. Okay, so I hope it's clear, like for updating the things we need to defining the mutation from over here, and then we are starting this one, and in a controller basically we have defining this mutation mapping, and here we have taken two parameters, one is the ID, another one is the price, and then we need to update the price over here based on the ID we are searching, and then we are updating the price over here. Okay, loaded the schema. Okay, so now from the Postman basically if we refresh this one, we can get the another details for updating the schema. Okay, it should come here, but it's not coming. Let me see what I miss. Actually here I need to refresh, so after refreshing over here this update price is coming over here, right? So you can see basically this is the argument we need to select over here, that are the like we need to pass. For example, let's say the ID number 43 is currently price is having the thousands, so we need to update from 1000 to 43,000 to 1500. Okay, so currently it's having a 50, yeah, sorry, 100 1000 and 43 ID. So now if we want to update in a response, basically what we need name and price, okay, and also ID, so that we can understand, right? Okay, so this is a thing that we need to pass. Okay, ID, and this is the like price, so in return also we need to do this one. So now if we did this query, so we can get the result in a, okay, what is saying this, it's throwing some exception, let us see. Okay, illegal argument. Okay, float with argument this. ID and price. ID price. This is fine. So it should work. Let us see. We can check again. It's will start it soon. Then we can check again that what it is causing. Okay, it's started. Now we can check from the Postman. Again we are getting these issues. Okay, okay, let me check this one. Okay, so let us check again one more time. So we have passed this ID and the like this is the price, this is the updated price, and ID and name, the ID name and the price will be in a response. So let us try this one. So now it will, what will say? Okay, we are getting 200. So in the response you can see, okay, now we are getting the response, right? So this is the now updated to 1500. Now instead of 1500, if we are do some update to 500, so now if we try this one, so now again it will be, it should update it to the, yeah, it should update it into the 500. So now if we see the database over here, okay, here is no updation. So why it is not updation? So now we need to check the like code that why it is not got updated. So in a like service layer, okay, in a service layer basically we forgot to save the details. Okay, after setting the updated values over here, dot save, and then here we need to pass this existing product. Now we need to like restart this application. Okay, so now it's because previously we are not able not saving the data basically, so that's why it's not reflects into the database. So now it should reflect. So initially, like just to summarize the things, like for fetching the records we have used this query, and for updating the things we are using this mutation. Okay, so these two things basically the main common things that we have used in a GraphQL basically. Okay, and this is also similar to the REST, but there is some difference. In case of the REST, we need to call the multiple services, but in a GraphQL we don't need to call those things. Now if we try again, like now currently it's 100. Now if we update this one, so it should be now reflect. In a response we are getting this one. Now let's check the database. Yeah, now it should update it to the 500, right? So in this way basically we can it did the some updation. So okay, so the thing is that like we can like multiple queries we can done in a similar time, like as you can see get products and as well as the updation also done in a single query, right? So you can see the advantages of it is so these are the like advantage of this one. And even like, okay, so this is the like things about this about GraphQL, that how we are going to use GraphQL using the Spring Boot. This is just kind of basic kind of thing overall. Okay, if you guys have any doubt, please do let me in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, and thanks for your time for watching this video. And don't forget to press the bell icon for further notification. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.